I was building it with the expectation I would raise money for it at some point to be able to build it out and scale it. And that's when the crash happened, probably 2009. And, I held on, not realizing that it wasn't going to get any better anytime soon. It was going to get worse. So in the process, I'm taking money from the clothing business to help fund the hotel part of it. So prior to that, I'm getting $400 or $500 a night for my room, my suites. And when this happened, Airbnb kicked in. People started renting houses out for $100 a night. Hotel rooms went down. No one was getting my places, and I couldn't sustain them for the prices that I had them. So I ultimately had to file bankruptcy, and I messed up two businesses in the process of trying to save one. So that was a big lesson for me.
What was it like um, trying to sustain yourself and take care of other people off of an entrepreneurial endeavor? The challenges that come with being an entrepreneur and being a family man at the same time.
Well, it's tough enough as it is, but my lifestyle didn't help either. Just being frank, that I had a wife and I had kids, but I spent a lot of time on the streets. Atlanta can, coming from North Carolina, and I lived in North Carolina, but then moving to Atlanta, it was like, you can get into just the whole environment here, going out all the time. There's always parties. There's always something happening. You can justify it through, for the purpose of business. I need to meet people. I need to do, and I did that. But it kept me away from home a lot and away from my kids. And I definitely regret that I didn't spend more time with my kids growing up. But I ultimately, made the process of taking care of everybody, doing what I need to do, tougher because I had cars, I had boat, I had lifestyle, so it was one in which required a lot of money to sustain. And when the business started really suffering, just slowly stuff just started having to get rid of and downsize and move. It was just a gradual, long, lengthy process.
So that brings you to one, the crash happens in '08. You got the scenario situation with your family not necessarily being on the best footing.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the real estate goes down, which leads you to filing bankruptcy. And that's a common theme I see on this show is '08 took a toll on a lot of the entrepreneurs that were in business at that time. And one of the things that I really enjoyed about your book and reading about your story and whatnot was two things. The first was your level of accountability for what led you to where you are at that moment in time. Your almost lowest moment. I think maybe when the IRS gets involved, it gets a little lower. But you took accountability for no matter what the situation and circumstances were.
Right.
It's on you. That's the first thing. But the second thing was I saw that a lot of relationships is what helped you come out of that moment, which I think is the spirit of your generosity, which I've experienced over the years as well. And I want to kind of dive into that moment in 2011 when you're kind of hitting the bottom. And let's pick it up where the IRS gives you a call.
Well, let me say this, that because I think what's significant too is that, I had to reach a place where I realized that I never saw myself here. Like everything I've done up to now has been successful. Everything has been good, Even in the midst of, making mistakes, I've still been able to still grow and still survive and so forth. And so now for the first time I'm at a place where I'm literally looking at myself and saying, man, I've lost everything. I invested since I was 22 years old. I bought my first house when I was 23. In every company I worked for, I was part of the investment plan, and I did the stock options, and so and I sacrificed to do these things. I mean, I remember when I bought my first house, I didn't have money for a refrigerator, but I said, I'm going to save my money till I get and buy a refrigerator. I didn't want to do credit. I was just such a beast at just discipline, saving, and investing. So I bought another house when I was 27. And, so I was used to having and growing and so forth. So now here I am at 44 years old and I have nothing. I've lost every home. I had 7 houses. I lost every single one of them. I think that, to understand the situation with IRS, you got to understand this, where I came from financially, where I was, having nice cars, having boats, having, Rolexes, and so forth, all this stuff. And so the change happened when I realized that I was living a lie.